This is the Civilization 4 NLL. Hello and welcome back to the second game of the day. I am Kjotleik, this is the Noble Leaders League. We have Washington versus Wang Kon. Washington that drew his first game for 1 point and Wang Kon that lost and is all the way down to 16th place in the bottom 3 with its 0 points. Let's take a look at the starting positions, shall we? Here is Washington. Let's get the resource bubbles on. So that we see that there is copper and there is corn, and he is on the western continent. They both are. Wang Kon is down here. There is also a middle continent and an eastern continent, both of which are a little bit smaller than the starting continent. And there is also some connections down here to the Antarctic, and there is possibility to go up here to a few islands. Let's look at the starting positions of Wang Kon, the Korean leader. Fish is around, corn, there is uranium here, and he has a little bit more green lands to get into than Washington has up here, but there is also a little bit green here. And of course there is this middle part. It's going to be interesting to see who can get first to this middle part to conquer these lands with a lot of jungle in them. Okay, let's go here to Washington. Let's get rid of the resource bubbles and let's start the game to see what's going to happen. Washington versus Wang Kon in the second division. 1 city each. Wang Kon is first to Hinduism. Washington with no religion at the moment. Who gets the second city first? That's Wang Kon or Washington. Well, I didn't catch that, but both have 2. Wang Kon is first to 3 at least. Washington 3 as well. Washington in Buddhism now. Wang Kon in Hinduism. Wang Kon is cautious. And we see that they are expanding relatively good. Coming up to 180 with 6 cities to Washington, 5, or was it 4 to Wang Kon? At least Washington is up to 7 now, Wang Kon with 6, Washington 8. And they are looking like they are meeting in the jungles there, and that Los Angeles city, that's a forward settling, and now Washington is up to 10 cities and Wang Kon is with 7, so Washington has expanded better, 8 cities to Korea now, and 9 cities to Korea. They are pretty even in city count, in other words. 10 cities to each now. Washington is going for feudalism and Wang Kon, well, Washington is up to 11 cities now, so 11 to 10, 11 to 11, and we are at turn 190, coming up on turn 200 in not too distant future. Washington is a little bit weaker than Wang Kon, but he is building up a few units. Machinery is next for the American leader, then optics. Wang Kon going for paper, compass and optics for Washington. 12 cities to Wang Kon, 11 to Washington. Wang Kon is actually trying to go for astronomy and he's getting astronomy. Now he could expand into the new world. Let's see what Washington is doing. Engineering at the moment. 12 Korean cities, 11 American cities. Turn 225. And Washington is on astronomy as well. Wang Kon has not settled any of the new 2 continents in the middle and to the east, but he is exploring out there. 12 cities to 11. Philosophy, education for Washington, and Washington is the first one to settle in the new world. He settled the middle continent, and he's now up to 13 cities. Wang Kon is settling the eastern continent. We see a city down there as well, so 13 to 13 in city count. And the strengths of the leaders, Washington has the strength of 1 compared to Wang Kon, so they are equal. 15 American cities, 15 Korean cities, they are expanding, and I guess maybe we won't see a war until they have filled up the new continents now. Going for economics, Washington, and then corporation, while Wang Kon is getting physics. 18 American cities, 17 Korean cities, turn 272 to 73. Communism next for Washington. Wang Kon also. Washington is 1.1 times the strength of Wang Kon, by the way. Up to 19 American cities now, 20 Korean cities, 20 American cities. They are building settlers very fast. Oh my, they are settling the new lands. So there are 2 American cities on the eastern continent. There is also 1 Korean city on the middle continent. 2 Korean cities on the middle continent, by the way. 21 to 20. 21-21. After Memphis was founded, Wang Kon is on rifling. Washington is on physics. Washington is 1.3 times the strength of Wang Kon. Maybe he's building up some units. 22 Korean cities now. We are at turn 307, 308. We are closely coming up. 10 turns left of the 19th century. 22 Wang Kon cities. Wang Kon is going for steel. Washington for steam power. But Wang Kon is pleased with Washington. So Washington go for steel as well. Wang Kon with 22 cities. I think there are some privateers or something on the scene. I heard some. Yeah, enemy. 22 cities each now. Washington is getting railroads. Wang Kon is getting combustion. The same thing with Washington in a few turns. 23 cities to Washington now. 22 to Wang Kon. We are at turn 334. San Diego, so 24 to 22 is the city count, going for electricity. Wang Kon is going for an assembly line. Washington is 1.1 times as strong as Wang Kon. And assembly line also for Washington, 24 to 22 cities. Fascism for Wang Kon. The map is filled up. What's going to happen? Will we see peace or will we see war? Wang Kon is going for artillery. Washington is going for industrialism. 24 cities to 23. Wang Kon is pleased, but I don't know if Washington is pleased with Wang Kon. That's impossible to know. Going for plastics next. Wang Kon is on rocketry. Still no war. We are at turn 355. There is a golden age that is ending for Washington in 2 turns. Getting radio now. Wang Kon is going for electricity. 24 cities each. Artillery onto rocketry while Wang Kon is on radio. It's not that much that separates the 2 leaders now. 24 cities each, about the same in tech. Washington going for satellites. Washington has completed Versailles at least. Turn 370. We are coming up on something soon. I think that this could now be considered a space race, because it doesn't seem like they are going to war or thinking about going to war. They are approximately equal in strength. Washington 1.1 times the strength of Wang Kon, and unless that changes drastically, there is no build-up for war, as far as I know. The only question now is whether one of them is going to try to go for cultural victory. Wang Kon is on biology, Washington on advanced flight. Then medicine for Wang Kon. Maybe he is trying to go space now. It looks that way. Washington biology in 1 turn, and Wang Kon has completed the Apollo program. Wang Kon has completed the Apollo program. I just caught a glimpse of that in the middle of the screen, which means that I believe Wang Kon could be going now. He's going for flight first. Ecology for Washington, turn 391. We are looking at almost turn 400 here, and I know Wang Kon has completed the Apollo program. Washington is going for medicine. Wang Kon is on flight. Washington is a little bit stronger than Wang Kon. Both have 24 cities. I don't think that we will get that much when it comes to war. I think this is a space race by now. Wang Kon is going for satellites. Washington for fission. Turn 399 is upon us, and America. Oh, there was standard ethanol for Wang Kon. That's sorry. That is giving him some is that no, that's oil. 403, 97 turns left. Wang Kon completes Hollywood. Refrigeration next for Washington. It looks to me still like this is a space race. So let's see, Washington and Wang Kon, when are they starting to build their spaceship parts? San Diego's grown, turn 408, 91 turns left. There hasn't been a war. Composites for Washington, stealth next, lasers for Wang Kon. Still teching Washington. Turn 413, 414 is soon here, 86 turns left. And stealth is there. And now fiber optics for Wang Kon and computers for Washington. 3 turns left for that. Turn 4, 16. And it's time to actually just look more and more towards the messages in the middle of the screen now to see if there is going to be spaceship parts built. And maybe take a look at the tech to see if somebody stops teching and maybe go for culture. I don't know. I don't think Wang Kon is doing that. I think Wang Kon is going for space now. But I haven't seen that many spaceship parts built. Robotics now for Washington. And Pyongyang has achieved legendary culture. Maybe Wang Kon is going for culture after all. It is turn 424. And creative constructions has been completed. There is global warming on the scene. Turn 425. Washington has completed the SS casing. I haven't seen Wang Kon build any spaceship parts. But Washington is surely trying to go for it. I didn't catch that Washington had completed the Apollo program, but apparently he must have done since he is building casings. Genetics in one turn. Wang Kon is getting computers and then going for robotics. Turn 430. I haven't seen any more legendary cultural cities, but Wang Kon has completed the cockpit. Okay, so he is building spaceship parts. This is a space race. Maybe that legendary Pyongyang city was just because they got so many cultural points. Washington has completed the United Nations, by the way. And now going, and Wang Kon has completed the docking bay. That's an important part. Fusion for Washington, composites for Wang Kon. Turn 436 now. And Washington completed Aluminum Co. in Atlanta. And we see fusion coming for the American leader. Composites coming for Wang Kon. Turn 438 now. Los Angeles has shrunk in size, okay. And Los Angeles has shrunk in size again. What is he doing over there in Los Angeles? I have no idea. But turn 440 is here. 2020 AD. Washington going future tech. Wang Kon also probably going... No, stealth. He has stealth left, of course. Yes. And Washington completed the thrusters. Spaceship parts are being built. When will we see the launch? Wang Kon has completed the life support as well. I think Wang Kon is in the driver's seat when it comes to construction of the spaceship. Could we see a Korean spaceship victory here? Space race victory. Washington completed the thrusters, but Washington is going for future tech. Wang Kon still has genetics left. So Wang Kon has completed the engine, so at least he has completed a lot of the parts, but he needs genetics as well before he can finish his spaceship. Turn 448 now, 52 turns left. Washington is on future tech, Wang Kon is on future tech, but Wang Kon, he is spending a lot of time. Is he now going? No. Yeah, he may be trying for both culture and space at the same time. Because he is spending a lot of time teching Wang Kon, which means that he is not putting his commerce into beakers. So maybe Wang Kon has gone the way of the cultural slider. We would not know, I don't know. But we have turn 454 and it's Washington versus Wang Kon in a space race, and Wang Kon may be trying to go for culture as well, but there is another casing for Wang Kon, turn 455. And let's see what happens if the spies are working or if they are not. I haven't seen that many successful espionage missions and stuff, so Washington thrusters, Wang Kon casing, turn 458 now. They are both building their parts. Who will launch first and who will reach Alpha Centauri first? This is a real space race between America and Korea. Turn 460 is soon upon us now. Here we are. No more spaceship parts has been built. I haven't seen a launch either. We are at turn 460. Buddhism has spread, yeah, and there is a great scientist born in Washington, in New Orleans. Wang Kon completed the SS engine. And we haven't seen any launches. Detroit has shrunk to size 16. Okay, turn 462, 463, and Detroit has shrunk to size 15. He is shrinking his cities now, Washington. That is not helping. And there is a great engineer, born in Seoul, turned 464. And no more spaceship parts at the moment. We are just waiting to see when they will finish. They are on future tech, both of them. When will the last part be finished? Casing for Wang Kon there. Turn 465 right now. I have not seen the launch yet. And there is the launch. Washington completes the engine and Washington has launched the spaceship. Now it is 9 turns to victory for Washington and Wang Kon. Washington completed the stasis chamber there, as we can see. But it's 8 turns left for Washington and Wang Kon. Unless he can capture the American capital. He has built a few thrusters, but this is going to be a Washington space race victory. Unless something spectacularly happens, Wang Kon is too late. He's building casings and thrusters. We are 4 turns away from an American space race victory. We are at turn 473 right now. That means turn 476. And we are looking at the last turns, 2 turns left now. Washington of America is going to go to space and Wang Kon completes his thrusters, but it didn't matter. Turn 4, 7, 6, 2056 AD. Washington has won a space race victory. Congratulations, Washington, with a win and the 2 points. And now he climbs the table. Let's take a look at the replay and then some statistics. This was another peaceful game. Washington completed the Apollo program in 1961, that's turn 381, while Wang Kon completed his Apollo program in 1965, turn 385, only 4 turns apart, but Washington was faster to launch the spaceship and won a space race victory. Here we see the graphs. Score pretty even with Washington ahead towards the end here. Some GNP, that was also pretty even. Manufacturing, a little bit advantage to Washington from around 1900 and out, but they followed each other pretty good. Food, yeah, it's pretty even. Power with Washington a little bit ahead, but not that much. Culture, you see Wang Kon takes the lead here, and then espionage, that's Washington, okay. Let's go to the demographics then. Washington 4,454 in GNP versus 3,919 for Wang Kon. Over 1,000 in manufacturing. 89.3 million in population, 78.6 million for Wang Kon, pretty even there as well. Let's take a look at the wonders and the cities. Let's go to the bottom to see the BC wonders. Stonehenge, Great Wall, Oracle, Colossus, 4 of them in the BC era and the rest in the AD era. Let's go to the top. The last one to be completed was Corporation Aluminum Co. in 2016. Wang Kon has the biggest, or the number 1 city, Pyongyang, and also number 2. Then Washington has number 3 and 4, and Wang Kon has number 5 and 6 on the city list. Statistics. Washington, 24 cities built, 3 religions, 3 golden ages, currently 58 windmills, 41 towns and 39 farms in his cities. He built 24 of a whole bunch of stuff, and then down to 16 recycling centers. Let's go page down. We see the wonders starting here. Ironworks, Wind Palace, Apostolic Palace is here. Aluminum Co. is here, of course. Let's go page down. You see Mausoleum Solos, and a lot of stuff. He did build an academy, United Nations, Rock and Roll, Broadway, Statue of Liberty. Taj Mahal was Washington's. Sistine Chapel, Stonehenge, and all the way down to the pyramids. Okay, what are your current units then? 89 mechanized infantry, 27 workers and 22 jet fighters, down to a stealth destroyer. You built 43 workers, 37 longbowmen, 35 Buddhist missionaries, 6 submarines as well, page down, and all the way down to 1 maceman, pikeman transport, etc. You killed 4 privateers and 2 frigates, and you lost 8 privateers and 1 frigate. That was Washington. Let's take a look at Wang Kon. Built 24 cities, 4 religions founded, 2 golden ages, currently 42 windmills, 22 lumber mills and towns. You also built in your cities 24 of lighthouses, barracks and granaries, and we see the list down to 10 hospitals there. Let's go page down. 8 of lot of stuff. Kremlin, Hollywood. You got both a military academy and an academy. Let's go page down. You built 1 nuclear plant and 1 hydro plant. Okay, Statue of Zeus is yours. Standard ethanol, you founded creative constructions here. See, you got the Colossus, Oracle, Hanging Gardens, Great Lighthouse, Great Library, a lot of good stuff. Okay, that was it. Let's go to the top and look at your current units. 82 mechanized infantry, 24 workers and 13 jet fighters, all the way down to 3 missile cruisers. You did build 31 workers, 25 settlers, 21 longbowmen and 21 Hindu missionaries. You have built 4 axemen. Let's go page down. You also built down, you got 2 great generals. Okay, let's go page down. And all the way you built 1 gunship. And to confirm, you killed 8 privateers and 1 frigate, and you lost 4 privateers and 2 frigates. That was Wang Kon, and let's go take a look at the cities. Here we are. Let's take a look at Washington's cities first. Let's sort them by population. New Orleans 26, Memphis 24, St. Louis 23 in pop, and we are building mostly buildings, and then 1 wonders. The 3 Gorgeous Dam is being built in Denver, and you can see all the other stats on the screen if you want. Let's go take a look at Wang Kon cities as well. Let's change to Wang Kon. Okay. And let's see when it changes. There we are in Wang Kon. And let's go take a look at the cities and sort them by population first. We have Cheyu, Pop 25, Busan and Yangsan 22, Seoul and Manpu 21, and you see the buildings, 1 SS casing, 1 stasis chamber, and then a lot of buildings, infrastructure, submarine and modern armor are the 2 only units being built at the moment for Wang Kon. Spoiler alert, results and updated league tables follows after this screen. After the second round, Washington is up to 3 points. He is currently number 3 in the league with a positive 4 score per turn difference. Wang Kon still in the relegation zone in 16th place, no points, negative 15 score per turn difference. Up tomorrow, we have 2 games from the first division, Hannibal vs Suleiman and Peter vs Huayna Pak. I recommend not missing out on those. It's going to be very interesting, especially to see what Peter can do. Well, let's wait for tomorrow then. This has been Kjotleik. Welcome back for the first division tomorrow. See you then. Bye for now.